Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm at the Second Baptist Church of Bloomfield, and I'm here with Doris Collins Spalding. And we're going to talk about a special picture which you can see behind us over my shoulder right now. This picture was painted by
Cassius Clay's father. I can't remember his first name, but I know he was Cassius Clay's father, who is known as Muhammad Ali.
That's right. Mr. Clay actually painted this picture in the early 60s.
In the early 60s, when I was a child, there was an original painting on the wall of the same picture. And once the church was remodeled, someone actually spilt paint over the original picture, and the picture had to be repainted. So when he painted it the second time, he came to Bloomfield and he was painting on canvas. He didn't paint it on the wall. He painted it on a canvas material and put it on a great big board. And I would come in, and my father would have to run me out of the church because, like most kids, I wanted to be nosy and dip my hands in the paint and ask the man 50 million questions. And so it would get to the point where when the man would come to paint, Mr. Clay would come in, we wouldn't be told that he was here, but on one particular day when he was painting, he came with his son, Cassius Clay, and at this particular time, Cassius Clay has just finished winning the Olympics. He had went out and bought himself a pink Cadillac, and this pink Cadillac pulled up and parked in front of our yard. And me and my sister Sue were like so excited. You know, you seen somebody that you see on TV, but then our TV was black and white, so seeing him in color, boy, just made it twice as awesome, you know. Yeah. And so he played with us. That's what was so significant about his visit here, because we were across the street where my house sat at the time, and he was on the sidewalk with us playing. And right to this day, my sister Sue can't stand for anybody to put their hand on their head, forehead, and hold her back and say swing, because that's what he did to us. He put his hand over our head like this, and he had me over here and her over here. He said, now which one of you can hit me? You know, and we were boxing and trying to hit him, and it just never happened. And he was laughing at us the whole time. And I think my sister got a little frustrated. She's a year older than me, and she took it a little bit serious, that she couldn't actually punch this man. But it was fun, and he was a very, very nice person. And that was my first encounter with Cassius Clay. But I had met him a couple of times after that. But his father did this picture, and for some reason, I felt like he didn't get to complete it the way that the original was on the wall. And I think that at the time, he may have gotten sick or something and didn't get to finish the bird, because the bird is the one thing in the picture that is different from the original picture. But other than that, I can vouch, my family can vouch, that we watched this man paint that mural on that wall. And it was very, very exciting to watch someone do something that magnificent.
That's great. Now, you at the time were living right across the street, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So when you saw this Cadillac drive up, did you know who was going to be coming out of it?
Oh no, you know, we were kids, but we were playing on the sidewalk. In fact, I remember we were playing hopscotch. We always had a hopscotch thing on our sidewalk where we took a rock and drew the little squares, and we were playing. And his father got out first and walked across the street. And I see my father come out the door, and he came across, and it was a Saturday afternoon. And so he came into the churchyard, and then he finally turned the radio off and got out of the car, and we were like, whoa, that's Cassius Clay, you know. And we just kind of like, as little girls, we attacked him, you know. Oh, well, you're Cassius Clay, you know. But we were just excited, you know, like any kid.
So when you saw him in the Olympics, Muhammad Ali was in the Olympics in 1960.
Yep.
So you're saying this was shortly after that?
Yeah, it was shortly
after. Not
after.
sure the exact time frame.
You know, a couple years after that, you know, and it was interesting to meet someone like that, you know. But it's the one, as a kid, if you have a memory that stands out to you, that's one that would, because all kids like to meet somebody famous. And to see him from TV and standing in your yard in person, it was like, whoa, you know. off the change, because my oldest brother, Billy, said that Billy had a crush on a girl named Charlotte Samuels, and she lived outside of Fairfield. And Cassius Clay at the same time knew her and liked her too. And my brother went in the Air Force, so they never had that kind of encounter where we're going to box over a female or anything. But I'm sure if my brother hung around, he would have probably made a little wave, because he likes to, you know, they both have that same attitude. You know, I'm pretty. You know, that's the way my brother was, you know. And so was Cassius Clay, you know. So when you have vain men, they may exchange words, but they never had those type of encounters. You know, they met each other, yes. They fought over a woman, no. You know, it was just that they both shared that one common interest, you know. Yeah, that I do remember.
Now, you said that you met Muhammad Ali a couple times.
Yes.
Was it here in Bloomfield the other times?
It was in Louisville each time. One time that I really remember meeting him, I was at a place called AJ's, and it was a nightclub right there on Barstown Road. And I had this table, and it was so great. You know, I got this nice table, and my table was up there where you could actually see the whole floor, you know. And I got there early just to get that table. Well, all of a sudden, the bouncers and the owner comes over and said, we need this table. And they take our drinks off the table and our jackets, and it's like, they just hand them to us. I'm like, wait a minute, we're sitting here. And here comes Muhammad Ali and the wife, that's name was Vicky, or Victoria, whatever her name was. And they took our table. It was funny. They took our table, and they only stayed for no more than 15 minutes. They made an entrance, sat down, looked around, got up, and went out. And
did you get your table back?
No, somebody else grabbed my table. You know? But then his wife, Leilani, well, her brother Albert and her sister Marilyn, we were all friends when we were in high school. And we would go to their house. And Muhammad's mother lived across the street from them. And Lonnie's mother took care of Muhammad's mother. So when he was home on a visit, I got to, you know, run into him again and meet him. You know, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I remember you or anything like that. It was just like, oh, there he is again. Ah! You know, that's the type of reaction I always have. I've got this one thing about meeting celebrities. I don't like to act stupid, but sometimes I get dumbfounded. Can't speak, you know. So it's like, hi, how are you? And move on, you know.
So the painting was why he was here. His father was painting this mural that you can see behind us right now.
Right.
Do you know how his father ended up getting involved with painting this mural?
That's what we don't know. And the oldest person that would know anything on this painting is Fred Skinner. But he's in St. Louis living with his daughter. Mr. Freddie used to live right across the street. And he's, I think, the oldest member left here, right? You know, and so, you know, I don't know if he would, at this time, you know, with his health, that he would be able to, you know, answer my question if I called him or not. But he would be the person that I would know, because I think we have a picture of a group in 1941 of the people taking a picture back here at church with all our congregation across. I wasn't even thought about or born, but there's a picture of our history with, I think it was 41, with everyone back here. And all those people were either little bitty children and have moved away, or they have passed away. You know, so I can't answer any of those questions.
So we are at the Second Baptist Church at Bloomfield.
Yes.
Right? The building's been here since the 1868. And again, the portrait in the 60s by Mr. Clay.
Yes.
And if anybody does have some information, if they recall being here or seeing Mr. Clay do that, or Muhammad Ali when he was here, be sure to contact us or contact the church here or contact City Hall in Bloomfield and get that information out there so we can kind of pin it down a little
Because we would like to know the exact year.
Exactly.
Because when you're a kid, you don't think about years.
Right.
All you do is think about living life. And now when someone asks me what year it was, I go, duh. Because all I remember, I was a kid. I was going to Eli Brown School. You know, that's it. You know.
Yep. I've been talking with Doris Collins Spalding at the Second Baptist Church at Bloomfield. This is Gary White for Central Kentucky Television.